Oh, here we are live. Alex, how was your morning today?
Not as sunny as yours, but overall, I'm good.
The Canada and Bay and California. This is a bit different universes. Yeah, this is I
Yeah,
spent like 2 years in New York and really missing the sun. Now I was like, that is enough sun.
of course, of course.
We are waiting a few minutes when the people is joining, and then we will start, Alex. Just give me a small tips like how far you guys with vibe coding in Streamline. Like how many code you guys really vibe coding?
Okay,
How what?
Alex, we haven't finished cleaning up bugs introduced by people, and we don't want to add wipe coding bugs there as well. But we have no choice. Actually, everyone will have to use it to be up to speed with new developments and
My city, you're saying
delivering
we're
new
not vibe
projects.
coding. We are actually using using assistants to make our code to develop faster. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
nowadays AI find a lot of actually bugs and help it prevent at the right time. Just reviewing code people committed.
Yeah, and document all the code code documents, documentations, etc. is created like 10,000 faster,
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
that's really cool. Okay, I feel like 2 3 minutes, people still joining, but I feel like we can start for maybe short introduction. Yeah, and just let me. Yeah, guys, I don't have a control for. Oh, yeah, now I have it. Yeah. Very quick, guys, just a quick agenda. Of course, we will welcome the speakers today, me and Alex. I will give you a small background on Alex as well. Yeah, and we will walk through the whole story. But this was always very exciting and very challenging topic for myself and for Competera. Where is like this line between right demand planning and pricing? They should be interconnected in both ways. I hope today we will cover all of this stuff. How to make your prices are really customer centric. How to have all the inventory in place and how to actually manage those both systems that they can really live and go through. And I'm super excited to have it today, Alex, with me. Let's start from myself. As you probably know it, like I'm Alex. I found this Competera back in the days, guys. I run the pricing practice in multiple consulting projects in a big four organization. Yeah, and I saw it like hundreds of the businesses and trying to achieve best balance between margin and sales and customer satisfaction. And yeah, then I found Competera, which is today one of the leading companies who helping retailers to keep their prices are always optimum. As you see, we're super proud that we have 27 million price recommendations set per month with Competera, and is only one we call North Star metric for us is how many prices are was accepted and actually we call it AI prices accepted, AI generated prices accepted by our customers. Yeah, and we'll be very welcome to present Alex today, CEO and co-founder of Streamline. Alex, please just give
Sure.
us more background.
Thanks, Alex. So I'm a co-founder at Streamline. Streamline is a demand and supply planning solution that uses AI to help companies improve their supply chain efficiency. I work with our team on the technical side a lot, and today I'll be speaking about different ways we use to actually improve supply chain planning and how it is connected to what Competera does.
Yeah,
Thank you.
cool. Is that you have guys today two technical founders on the same on the one room.
Yeah, a few words about Streamline. AI-driven supply chain planning solution, 1,200 customers around the world, 50 plus countries served. And average results that we deliver is 90% less stockouts and 30% less overstock, as well as a faster planning cycle. So that actually the value we provide. Um, um, what is really important, I think, is that nowadays there is a huge shift happening in the industry, and we must follow it. Otherwise, Otherwise, we cannot sustain competition, and all the recent trends can be utilized. So the shift is toward autonomous retail operations and autonomous planning. There's a lot of talks nowadays about autonomous planning, and I can compare this to a Tesla car. Like there is autopilot, but in case of anything bad happening, you are in charge, and you are responsible. So same situation with autonomous retail operations. Everyone talks about autonomous operations, but if something bad happens, you know who is in charge. And that's probably normal. But it's important that this is becoming more and more important. And just we talked about this actually for quite a long time, and just tools are changing. If, for instance, we talked about planning by exception that reduces amount of work before. Now we talk about AI agents that reduce the number of manual operations. So tools are changing, but actually autonomous trend have long history. And question to you, how close is your organization to autonomous retail operations on a scale from not at all to using it in full? So choose your answer, and we'll discuss the how you vote a little later. Okay. While you're voting, we'll move forward and then get back to this. How AI is actually contributing to autonomous demand planning? As I said, autonomous, well, no one expected to be fully autonomous from start. And, you know, before we can walk, we learn how to crawl. And same with autonomous demand planning. Before we have 100% autonomous planning, we at least should see some 95%, 97%, 99% autonomous planning. So actually, we have a lot of tools to bring it to around 95% level, like planning by exception and many other tools. But how can we push it even further? And the AI agents are actually doing this job really well. If we look at what industry reports are saying, for instance, Gartner no longer consider autonomous planning innovation. It's not an innovation anymore. It's a technology that is like you can see it. It passed the peak of the hype cycle, and now it's just normal. So companies adopt this more and more, and it becomes like normal thing for our day-to-day operations. And why we are discussing this with Competera so much? Because there is a tight connection between variables used in automation in autonomous planning that come from pricing side to inventory management, and from inventory management to pricing side. And we'll discuss this a little bit more. So, Alex, what do you think?
Yeah, thank you, Alex. Yeah, this is always probably the best and a great example where AI can speak with AI, and this kind of I can't imagine even better implication that demand planning depends on the pricing, right? If you guys do so aggressive price moves, you need more assortment on the stores, and vice versa. If we don't have enough assortment, we cannot be such aggressive on the pricing moves. And those, you know, the retail organizations, the really big organizations, and it's really hard to navigate through those silos, what actually and a conflicting interest between commercial team, buying team, etc. This is why I feel like we finally deserve this era where we are moving forward that two algorithms can work together. And before we start, we just finished first poll. I see the majority, you probably saw it. I know this disappeared right now, but it was around 63% is actually investigating the early stages on looking for Alex demand. Yeah, and 13% I see is actually start exploring in early stage of demand pricing. Amazing how is actually still under discovered market. Guys, can you return me the screen? Yeah, this is the results of poll one. You can really see it again. Yeah, we see that 13% in the progress of assessments, AI tools, and human decide. Okay, let's move forward. Yep, let me click. Still clickers. Yep. Now it's time for result number poll number two. Results we already shared, yeah, guys, with you. Yeah, okay, let's go for it. Yeah, now as I continue the pies what Alex created here, we are on the age where prices are also can be set by AI or with help of AI. And still I see the same situation. You see that 76% of pricing decisions are still manual. Yeah, and still require multiple teams, multiple alignments. And everyone right now, they know that that is actually the market is going that way, that we can really dedicate this to AI, into right algorithms, machine learning algorithms. Let's say again, I feel Alex always as a technical guy, sometimes I can't really tell that we are AI with true machine learning, like deep learning algorithms rather than the generic, but they still where Spock is going. And traditionally, as I mentioned, that retail are, I always say, missing the customers in their business, and they're very reactive. They change price when something is already happens. And guess what? Usually, for example, dead stock. We see a lot of stocks are stuck in our warehouses. Then we start doing the aggressive markdowns, moves, etc. Very, very SKU centric. It means that we negotiate the price for that particular items, and we start optimizing this based on this cost and negotiations what we've done with our vendor. But the customer, he look on this all together on the alters on hold the shelf. And limited, it means the limited means that exactly that we use some limited amount of the triggers and factors when we make the decision on our price move, like what is competitor does, what is our business KPIs, etc. But same time, customer live different life, right? Customer always thrill what is good for him. I mean, the price should be tailored for that specific audience and location at least. Also, they always compare with something with their kind of closest competitors, brand stores, whatever, and they have created this readiness to pay. Is also, by the way, timeline dependent. Like it's close to the salary day or is like mid of the season, etc. And always they also care about someone else. This is much more factors than just your cost and competition and numbers of the items on your warehouse are driving the pricing decision of the customer. And this is where we think the greatest of AI coming to. The technologies, as Alex mentioned, also available today to really, this peak is already past. I mean, this is not something new, is normal. To get all this data together and give the optimization engine all the information and give the responsibility and credibility to decide where's the next price move you need to make. And you see, this is a data sets what actually pricing model eating, and inventory data is one of the biggest sources of knowledge, especially of vertical organized retailers where you have your own manufacturer lines and you need to be careful with sales pace and actually sellouts to get the price healthy. And when all this data integrated, you see that system is decomposed with by the numbers of the factor, like internal factors, external factors, channel specific factor, and inventory in restocking is one of the important and base factor. It's like this much more than that shows on the slide, but I just want to highlight here that inventory restocking is a very important decision factor for the model to understand where the price move can be done. And actually, the next slide is actually example, guys, of sales drivers distributed by category levels. You see on the left, this is a group of factors, and these are different categories you see. And take a look here. The inventory is quite important factor. Like even in this case, in that particular industry, the price-based position, oh sorry, price positioning, it means that this your relevance to competition is like 7 times less than inventory itself. That inventory is one of the very important factor. Is always for us is important. Is something what more than 3% and above. This factor that important. And if you don't have this inventory information, you can't really distribute those knowledge and understand the sales drivers behind your data sets. Yeah, and this is where we're coming to poll number 2. Where does guys price elasticity fit in your data models? What I want to understand today, like how you guys really using the elasticity today can be in your pricing model, in your demand forecasting model, on both models, also across multiple workflow systems that you can decide on the marketing position, etc. And it would be great if you can answer here, and we will share the results later on. Okay, and we moving forward, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Alex, passing mic to you.
Thanks, Alex. Okay, I'm not going to be surprised if very few people are actually using pricing information in their processes, because pricing information and many other variables are hard to separate from other drivers of price, other drivers of demand. For instance, for demand forecasting, we always see an issue when companies cannot distinguish between the changes imposed by seasonal factors like seasonality and or maybe availability of products and basically the price. And splitting the impact onto these separate factors is probably the major issue that stands in our way. And in Streamline, we actually solve it, and we automatically separate impact from seasonality and price elasticity. And this allows our customers just automatically include price into the forecasting process. So Streamline
Cool.
customers are mostly using, they can turn it off, but mostly they use price elasticity for forecasting, and other solutions usually offer some kind of helper variables, multi-variable forecasting, but it has a problem of not being separated from seasonal impact.
Just want to
And
add very quick
yeah,
that
yeah,
you showing very nice here that this is a actually connected process that you are after you transfer the orders, you can actually update also knowledge of the demand pricing model that understand what is coming to your store, what is will never come, or what is like this is kind of those both systems are connected and work kind of continuously as a closed
yeah.
ecosystem.
Early in this presentation, we announced a loop, feedback loop between demand and price, and I'll try to explain it in simple words. So, can we go back one slide back? Trying to go one slide back. Thanks. So basically, the loop here is that price is one of the variables in price optimization, and this is where Competera um, has expertise to optimize prices based on this factor as well. And it comes down to demand and inventory levels, because if you don't have enough products, it doesn't make sense to reduce price for such products. But if you use demand, for price optimization, then price optimization outcome is used by Streamline to and these future and pricing information, especially upcoming price changes. It is used to prepare supply for these changes, and Streamline factoring information that is outcome from Competera system, and Streamline produces better forecast and better inventory plan, which is then returned to Competera, and it can improve your pricing optimization then. So there is a cycle between Competera and Streamline because demand and inventory are input variables to both systems. And if you use it in both systems, you improve accuracy of forecasting for both systems. Okay, let's move forward. A few words about Streamline itself. Because Streamline is a demand and supply planning system. And why it actually exists on the market at all, because there's a lot of systems of this kind. Streamline has unique focus on financial efficiency. So companies that use Streamline see all day long, they see in front of their face, they see inefficiencies they have in their supply chain in terms of dollar loss because of shortage and because of overstock. And what Streamline does, it helps supply chain planning teams reduce those inefficiencies. And of course, we use all standard set of features and tools and solutions available probably in many different solutions, but the focus on improving financial efficiency of supply chain is something that Streamline is very good at. And that comes together with very fast implementation because of well-organized structure of the software. And Streamline provides year-ahead visibility into inventory operations because of simulation and digital twin technology we have under the hood. And we use AI, like machine learning AI, to improve forecast accuracy. So Streamline provides very high accuracy of forecasting, and it is known for this. Sometimes Streamline is used in parallel with other systems just to improve forecast accuracy. Okay. Let's discuss our poll results. Oh, just this is not the right one. I think, Alex, I'm returning it back to you.
Yeah, I'm here. Okay. Can I get a control back, guys? Yeah, just a quick. Okay, perfect. And now we are still not coming to very specific, guys. I want just honestly the first time we showcasing this. Yeah, and I want to touch again. Thank you, Alex. That's very clear. I mean that those systems can work together. And now let's touch, guys. What is the pricing? Why the pricing image fails? And again, the first point I feel is a complete disconnect, what we just discussed multiple times. By the way, great result of the polls. I feel like it's kind of equally distributed, but 22% of audience saying that they're already using in both systems, which is really cool. And let's make it even one step further on that. Disconnect. There's a main problem that the inventory flies, what we just mentioned, inventory silos between like DC stocks, store stocks, and this information flows really, I will say, with some lags, and especially the headquarters when they set up the prices, they really struggle to understand what is coming, how much stock would be there in that particular day. And this is why we come into the second pain point. That's called a standard inventory. They're using kind of what I saw, they're using kind of approximate adjustments. Hey, how much stock would be there? And usually the commercial team saying, guys, this is the best price. I will sell it. Like you need to care the enough assortment. Yeah, and they're partially right, but if we are trying to grow this business together, we need to cooperate. But this cooperation is really hard to achieve. Uh, and usually this is coming to the point that traditional pricing models, uh, they're fixed. I mean, we know, for example, in October, we start like autumn sales, blah, blah, blah. This is like those events are straight. And they actually, in those event calendars, seasonal calendars, they like write it in the papers, like as a joke, but it's real like that. And they actually not reviewing by years. And it's very, very small adjustments. But is it word is different today? Yeah. And also on those calculations, for example, there's a huge account, guys, the huge, I'm talking about several thousands of $billion a year. They're still using those, I would call it time blind analytics. I mean, they hey, we have this week 50% sales. This is why we make decision to move it for, I don't know, next 5% move. This not when they make those projections, they make those decisions on the future impact. They using that particular day or week, not the holistic timeline. What will move on the next stages, and I hope I will walk you through this today. Yeah, ADC store black hole. This is I've sell the multiple accounts, whereas like this distribution logic, when we're missing streamline in this kind of triangle, the logic, the distribution between stores that see their own inventory, right? But we have a DCs would actually care much more inventory, and some stores, of course, selling those inventory faster, sometimes slower, and this kind of very big black hole I call between on those store and DC and distribution algorithm. This is why those disconnected system leads to, in the end of the day, broken price image. Some stores are selling faster and more discount, and some stores are really training their customers to wait for the next wave of discounts because we usually over predict in the beginning and actually trying to complete our sales results in Q4. Probably for many of them is really familiar terms, like the retail makes most of the annual plans always make in Q4. This is what needs to be changed in the future. Yeah, and if to summarize very clear, like the goal is to transform from like this reactive discounting, reactive pricing to proactive inventory clearing, and actually make those kind of both system works and be tailored to each other. Yeah, and that is like with this integration between your inventory moves and store performance, store cluster performance. Let's be honest, as usually is not that store individual, is some kind of group of the stores, and make this kind of system connected is already possible with those systems and the technologies what we are talking today. And this is what we named like four-dimensional optimization model, the concept. The concept is very simple. Probably my engineers would be angry if I told them this simple. It's not, but the history is very simple, the conceptually simple, that we need to ensure about four main dimensions. Profitability is probably all what the business wants to have, maximizing our revenue and gross margins. Productivity, because if we not optimize GM ROI, you know it, like in the beginning of the season can looks for us very beautiful. Like we had a good margins, we sell it, it moves well. But at the end of the season or at the end of the cycle, we have a lot of inventory what we need to discount by 70%, 75, familiar, right? And then all our margins technically bleeded to those actions. And by the end of the day, end of the year, we actually end up like in very average margin, etc. This is why third dimensions coming to velocity. This our target sales through rate is actually something what is calculated. Is not like actually I saw it like fixed thing. This is our target sales through rate. We will keep them, but they change with the inventory moves through the sales cycles, right? The new item, mid season, end of the season, etc., etc. Yeah, and stability. Minimize discount, guys. The whole retail are really in trouble in globally because those discounts are really killing our margins and our profitability, and also train the customers to just wait till where the best discount happens. It's okay to have a like less assortment on Black Friday. It's okay to have a average discount on end of the season like a 30% or 40%. I mean that it means that you sell out most of your assortment by regular price. And this, all of these four metrics with AI today can be balanced. When we calculating the price, we can achieve the balance between all of those positions. And this is kind of, but again, this is impossible. As I mentioned, this is why we are encouraging people to work with both systems and actually integrate pricing tools with the demand planning tools and replenishment tools, because this create ability for the algorithm. We can calculate all of this already. This is what I mentioned. The algorithm works very well. I hope we will show you today the cases. The question and problem is usually to make these guys work together and connected between each other. Yeah, and this is what important and achievable today. Okay, let's move forward. This is one of the example where this connection works. And if you can see here, sorry, just walk you very quickly to test and control group. The test group is where this algorithm will apply it. Control group, that the system will works without the technology under the hood. And of course, the vice president of this organization, they was super concerned because he knows that the AI will not allow those discounts, etc. And it's usually those discount stores. So that's cases like a fashion, as a shoes, all the stuff. You see that sales items, they really want to grow the sales items or protect sales items growth, and was very conservative, concerned about like ability to really achieve something to save them. But as you can see here, the system was able to increase sales items, same time, actually save gross profit, save the revenue, because when you run discounting, of course, you are losing the revenue. Like your revenue cuts are higher. That's why those results are negative. But in a positive way, this customer able to increase sales items. It was like faster than control group, plus save the revenue and gross margin. And this was a case where in our history where we agreed to like 8 weeks test. On week 3 or 4, the customer saying, "Guys, we love it. We love it. Please let's scale up to other assortment." Yeah. Oops. I know this became so fast. It was so quick. Yeah, Alex, passing mic back to you. What is like results you can share?
Sure. I'd like to speak about a case study as well, and I choose to speak about the case where we improved multi-tier coffee distribution network. And I should say this was achieved with one of our partners and implementation partners. And the outcome was 95% fast demand forecast generation. That means we replaced manual process with automated process. And now only 5% of time is like 95% of time is free, and 5% only used to generate same amount of forecasts. And 5 to 8% reduction in inventory levels, which is great because this company is fast growing. And 82% forecasting accuracy, which is fantastic because this is actually a very high accuracy percentage um, uh, in the industry. And what our customer noted is that Streamline was able to go live in under 4 weeks, which is, if you compare this to many other solutions like Oracle or SAP, this is not going to be achievable with those. And of course, this customer is able to use price elasticity models for demand and inventory forecasting. And we currently have a few customers that has Competera and Streamline, but it's early to say much. It's too early to create a case study because it's a new integration, new technology, and we are still trying out. Um, and it's actually easy to set up. I've seen one of the questions about how hard it is to integrate Competera and Streamline. Very easy because Streamline already has these inputs in our database, and Competera is already using inputs of this type in their models. So they simply switch data source to our database and pull forecasts and inventory projections from Streamline. So very easy. Um, yeah, um, we are
Oh, it's
currently we're currently um, we're currently observing uh, merely a revolution in planning technology because AI is taking over many processes, and hopefully we will be able uh, to be as fast and introduce all these innovations in our solutions. So that's what we're
Yeah,
targeting.
Alex, I jump on this webinar. Plus, we just completed one of the pilots with the customers, and they received 97% of the prices acceptance rate with 5% gross margin effect. And it's amazing. Imagine, guys, it's only 3% prices wasn't really accepted, and they say so much time is actually free up right now. And this, I feel like people is deserve it. We need to just point the direction and make the all complicated math back to the algorithms. That's why Competera and Streamline exist. Yeah, moving forward, guys, we have a very exciting part of our conversation is the Q&A. We have a few questions I know line up, and I will ask our backend team to support us on this. If you can, guys, drop or read the question, I'll be happy to jump in if we're good on time, of course. Let's see, where is the chat?
We're good on time. Just a moment. We will compile all the questions that we receive and send them over to you.
Oh, we
Mhm.
can actually start answering based on what we have in the chat window.
Yeah,
Um,
I just lost the chat window somewhere. Alex, please start. I
yeah,
will try
yeah.
to find it.
I'll read, and if it's a question to you, you'll be able
Okay,
to answer.
perfect. Thank you, because I can
So
see it.
first one from Adam: Can AI really balance multiple pricing strategies at once, like value-based and competitor-based, or do you still
Yeah,
have to choose?
yeah, correct. Honestly, this is already balancing. But how it's designed, guys? You pointing still the direction. What you want to increase, what you want to protect. This is a base kind of two directions. And a model optimized in that direction. So usually you need a one metric what you want to improve, one metric what you want to protect, and of course the combination between them. Also their ability to run the what if that they can use the whole simulations and select one of this. We usually still I will not kind of tell you this is a completely you can close it and forget it. Like usually we recommend once a week to review the strategy and fix it. If you see, for example, on this case, we customers want to increase the sales items is the most important for them, and they're growing sales items by 7.7% week over week. But the gross profit was down by 1.2, 1.3. In the beginning, it was okay, but now say, okay, now I want to protect my gross profit. They use still involved, but yeah, and you can also point the direction. There's all the four dimensions what I mentioned, but imagine it would be less aggressive in this case. Is it is all balanced. It still need to be person in there, but imagine the person right now just configuring and pointing the directions rather than creating the rules and understanding this kind of, hey, I need to do this and that. It's much easier right now. You don't need to build the rules. You just need to point the direction and put in guardrails. And you can honestly, one of the extra points sometimes you even point the guardrailing. For example, I don't want to lose any gross margin, and this situation is impossible. And model try still kind of bleeding a bit margin, and that's why you need the control and just playing with those configuration. But short answer, yes, as possible is already in there, and you have ability not only believe in that, you have ability to we call it what if to simulate different outcomes and then choose what you want.
Next question is from Guillermo. AI is involved into management through is AI involved into management through Streamline platform or just is a normal RP? So when we talk about AI, we should distinguish between two types of AI, machine learning and generative AI. And we use both in Streamline, but for the right purpose. I compare this to how we use muscle memory against our brain when we walk. We're not going to use our brain to walk. We use muscle memory. But when we decide where we go, we use our brain. So the right purpose for machine learning would be crunching numbers. And the right purpose for Gen AI would be to help make decisions, support your decisions, explain what's going on. We have an AI, agentic AI platform inside Streamline, and we have a number of AI agents there already. And what we are doing right now, we're expanding the number of agents and purposes for it, basically. Let's move forward.
Is how we
Susan,
integrate it, I see the question. Yeah.
yeah, I answered that one. I saw it in the chat.
Uh-huh.
Susan asks, how do you actually get leadership buy-in for autonomous planning when they don't trust the AI's algorithm?
Oh, this is a great question, guys.
Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, my perspective, we always my gut feel sorry, gut feel, our drill, we designed ROI even before we start the project. We basically like base scenario, pessimistic, optimistic, saying, guys, if you switch it to this autonomous pricing modeling, this is what we can really achieve. And we even make it as a target for our limited rollout. And they say, hey, we don't need to trust us. Give us like 10 stores, 10 weeks, and see how it goes. It's technically the best way to sell it. Show the money. The leadership always want money. Show the money, and actually guarantee like this is a kind of limited rollout. We will show you like a business case, real one, and then we will scale. This is probably very simple and short recipe for that. I don't know, Alex, what about you? What is your advice?
I'd
How to
like
sell
to
it?
add that this reminds me about all the problems companies have with digital transformation. It is all the same, actually. Um, for instance, early buy-in solves a lot of problems, and before new technology even comes into process, people need to understand what are the benefits, what are the responsibilities, and that includes leadership as well. So early buy-in really helps to make everyone comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely nice point. I actually also agree 100%. I even have it in the slide. I think if the C-level don't believe in this, is not even start the project, guys. It's really hard. They need to have those buy-in and interest from the beginning. And because it's a big change in the organization, and you need to trust because something can go wrong, right? It's like that I needed more, etc. Even if this buy is all cool, but I mean this early buy-in, as Alex saying, is 100% true. Without this, it's impossible to move it. Probably any project, not just this.
Okay, next question is what data does each system need, and is there overlap, or do they each need their own separate data feeds to function properly? Overlap is huge actually, but not complete. So definitely you'll need a little bit of special data for Competera and Streamline, but overlap is huge actually.
Yeah, guys, the foundational, we call the foundational data set is simple. For example, if you're already using Streamline, it's easier to connect Competera or vice versa. Yeah, the computer is more sensitive on the some product description, some less the product information itself, like on the feature level of the products. But the core data that are completely the same, the transaction history by stores, right, aggregated best case on daily basis. Yeah, and yeah, the historical inventory level, etc. Yeah, usually again, it depends if the customer want to buy both systems, you integrate once. All the rest we already kind of natively connected. We know which system what missing, and we just if we just kind of extra integrate several tables what needed. Depends from which angle we're coming. If the customer is already using Streamline and coming to the pricing, yeah, that we just integrate like less huge. The core is most complicated will be done one system or another. That is, and if you're adding add-on an X system, it was just our work together, just to add extra data sources, etc. Like it's very small explosion of the customer itself.
Awesome. Next question is, we've piloted AI planning tools before and the data quality killed it. How do you build trust in the output before you go live? That's a great question, Alex.
Yeah, this is, you're absolutely right. It's like I feel like 9 from 10 project is really delayed because data quality. Yeah. Alex, I need to hear your opinion first, then I will add mine.
Okay. So first of all, depends on what kind of AI we're talking about. If it's machine learning, then probably we all know that garbage in, garbage out. But for Gen AI, we would expect it to be able to sustain uncertainty and all the conflicts in the data. And I'd say it is important to implement it step by step, like purpose by purpose. And agents allow you to solve different important issues one by one. So you don't need like AI that rules all your processes. You need a process where Gen AI is appropriate, you apply it, and you enjoy outcomes. So if it is not working with a particular purpose and because of data is not good enough, just leave it as is and automate what is working really well with it.
Yeah, my ad on this, I guess, angle just made it straightforward. We have the validation scripts when project will not start if we're not confident on the model quality, and we call the historical accuracy of the forecasts. And how we eliminate this, each source are validated before they even goes to the model training stage. And you can clearly see, hey, this is kind of discrepancy. Guess why? The most complicated is like historical cost mapping or promo mapping, etc. This more data mapping in general between sources. And the second is actually some interpretation, your historical moves on the data. For example, we see a huge spike on sales, and it definitely was a promo here, but on the promo calendars, there wasn't any promo. Yeah, but how we eliminating this in Alex system, and our system has the validation scripts that you're loading the data, we see where data is missing. And by the way, this is not about only for Streamline or Competera, guys. If you have those data clean up and linked and actually coherent in your system, you can use this data foundation for any future project. And again, we coming to the future of agentic future, AI future, and the data is a foundation. And I mean, there's also one point, what some of the customers, by the way, they coming saying, guys, we just launched, it's called data mesh projects. You can read it, what is data mesh. They done the data mesh as a separate project to understand how clean their data, how they can read it and speak with the data. And then, of course, implementation of demand planners or pricing tools is much easier. But how we eliminate this validation scripts, even before any algorithm will be trained, we know what quality of data we have. And as Alex mentioned, maybe project can be descaled, saying, hey, these guys, you will have, I don't know, 20-30% coverage with high quality coverage of your assortment only based on that data. But most cases, it's just a bit more work on the implementation side. Project can run like 4 weeks. It can be like 12 weeks or even further that we try to map and clear the data sets.
Okay.
I know, Alex, you mentioned 4 weeks, but I feel like this is good, but mostly not. It's like not the
Hard to
reality.
achieve, right?
It's really hard to achieve. We do have an example like 4 weeks, but in average, guys, it's like 8 to 12 weeks. They implement data mapping and clearance stuff. Let's move forward. Do we have any more questions?
Yeah, just next question. It's a long one. So basically, retailers struggle with managing data at scale. And the question is essentially, how do you solve the garbage in, garbage out problem when the competitive data landscape is so fragmented? So, and it's
Yeah, it's
question to
probably to me.
Competera.
Yeah, probably to me. Guys, the two things. The good news for you, like we honestly, in most projects, if we spoke about offline retailers, we can ignore competitive data as an input. We mostly care about competitor proximity, which means that the location, the store distances between your stores and competitor stores. Plus, we do have our own competitive data crawler that we are collecting this data and created a data lake because it was issue from day zero, like when we started like to get it data clean. Yeah, and the good news that information what we need for we can understand the demand in price elasticity and elasticity, demand elasticity in general on the historical data without knowing the exact competitive price. We just see it like price move and the action. And there's a good news. Yeah, we built some workaround. And as I mentioned, for in general, like we see those data, we just can't trust this data. You're right. If this is fragmented, we say, okay, it's better for us to not confuse the algorithms and then use it some garbage. You're right. It's like no garbage in. I will say this is not pretend to garbage out. If it's not there, we have the workarounds, how the algorithm understand competitor proximity, etc., without knowing the competitor prices. If short.
Next question is what it makes uh, to have pricing. So what it takes to make pricing work? Is it technology, data, people? Where do most get stuck?
Oh, perfect. This is actually three components, guys. Data foundation, as we mentioned, tailored model, the pricing model, like AI model, and new workflow. The workflow is the people, mostly stuck on the data. Second biggest is actually, guess what? People, the adoption. Guys, if you have like 10, 20 people running pricing right now, and we do this, call it kind of pricing coherence, and we changing like is one can be one, two guys be responsible, etc. Start slow. Start slow with one, two categories, several groups, and a centralized pricing function. This really, really helps. But mostly stuck on data. It's still like maybe 8 of 10 is a data question. And then another 20%, this is actually people question. As any innovation, I don't feel like it's probably same for Streamline. When the people sitting and ordering those items individually, now you start using the system. And for us, biggest bottleneck is actually people adoption rather than algorithm or stuff like that. Alex, what is your opinion? Where is the mostly your project stuck?
Um, I'd say it's no like technology very rarely. Like sometimes companies use ERP systems from let's say 30 years ago, and that in that case
Yeah.
technology is important, but it's mostly data or people. And data, like if there is a will, there is a way, right? So people can do the job if data allows them. So if it gets stuck, mostly it's data.
Mhm.
Um, that's what we see mostly. So next question is, do you have any ready model to help with sourcing sourcing function for fashion retail industry? Okay, sourcing
Uh,
function in the fashion retail industry. Can you help, Alex, with this?
Sourcing, I mean, you want to, the sourcing is very broad, but if I understood correctly, the sourcing means that the searching for the new items, right? The sourcing. Or if this is a case, if you can please drop the qualification in chat, but the sourcing we do have, imagine you in our data lake, you see the whole assortment of all your brands and the competitors. And if you can ask the question like which assortment are, for example, how many items on that particular category this competitor care, that's really in place and the model is there. And this is but this is not, we call this assortment intelligence. It's not the pricing in general. But yeah, imagine this is a data lake what has all the assortment and intersection of your assortment versus competitors, including the similar items. For example, how many similar blue jeans or blue jackets the Macy's care today, or what is the average price of man white t-shirt in the category X on Target. Yeah, this kind of questions, we already know it and we have it. And if this help you somehow with sourcing, That's great. But yeah, but directly we are not proposing this. We're optimizing what you have rather than helping you to add new assortment or replace some items from the assortment.
Awesome. And on our side, yeah, sourcing is a broad term. We help with purchasing, help with sometimes negotiation with your suppliers. But if we dedicate sourcing, it's not going to be a solution for sourcing specifically. So it's a broader solution. Given that price tracking, that crawlers that Alex mentioned, often yields incomplete or faulty data, how can Competera ensure its AI recommendations remain valid when the underlying market sample or competitor prices
Mhm.
are
Yeah,
fundamentally
this is
flawed?
Yeah, this is a good question. There's actually two levels of validation. The first one on the sourcing itself, like on scrapping and matching, we use 100 people, guys. I mean, there's algorithms, but there's like as a visual human validations with SLAs that ensure that data is complete. And we track this number. This number is available for all our customers in the system, in the UI. You can see like as average, our base is 96% of validation of the accuracy of those matchings. So second layer of the algorithm itself. For example, for when you use EI, not rule-based, is actually the EI understand, first of all, we always have, of course, guardrails. I mean, the price can move if even competitors show. We had these cases for the guy selling the AirPods for like $20. It's not cost like that. It's just technical mistake. And of course, the algorithm need to pick up this. Even matching is right. It's just a physical mistake on the customer website. And if you use rule-based system, usually rule-based just go on that price and try to react. AI will not do like that. For example, they know for how often in that particular store those happens or out of stock happens, etc. That AI will say in some parts they are slower on reaction because they need time to learn. They're not like a triggered rule-based repricing what can hurt your image. And you can increase the price afterwards, right? You usually go down. This is why we're very careful. And if we have not enough confidence, we just not recommend the new price move. If something happens, usually it just alert the system saying, hey, this is price recommended price is here, but something happens, you see the reason why, and it's like or yellow, it means that price was set within the guardrails anyway, but if it's outside the guardrails, it would be red and saying the price wasn't set, please take a look. Yeah, it's technically matching again the human validation and a guarantee there. SLA separate process, separate team working on that. And second is the pricing algorithm can highlight the alerts. I don't know, Alex, you probably also has, for example, some SKUs was selling once a week or once in 3 weeks ago, just one sales, and you're probably not confident enough how many items you need to stand on the store. What is going on in your system? It's very interesting.
Yeah, probabilistic approach in this case, and there are predictive models like Croston's approach to forecasting when you assume zero sales, but you have means to calculate safety stock. And with safety stock, you can cover future intermittent sales.
Mhm. Yeah, technically on or if some outliers happens, probably you also will just not recommend or highlight to review those suggestions, right? Okay, cool. 2 minutes left. I feel like we can great. We can maybe follow up with answers on the whole for the whole audience if we do have more questions there.
I think we don't have more questions, so we can wrap up.
Mhm. Perfect. Yeah, guys, we have prepared you few materials here for the people who are pricing. We have very cool like pricing knowledge base. It's all free. You can download, see. Also, please follow our Pricing Hero podcast. We interviewing cool people from the space, from the different retail, etc. And Price Academy. If you can pass it to your pricing people, they can go through this course and receive the digital certificate. It's honestly it's around 6 hours work, but you will is a great kind of foundation. I feel like to understand the base pricing principles and foundations that have you can run. This all free. Please take a look and enjoy the materials. And Alex, yeah.
Yeah, you can find us on YouTube. We have a lot of video materials on AI-based forecasting of demand and supply, and hopefully you'll find something interesting for you.
Cool, 200 videos. Really, I envy you. We need to start doing more.
We are not that smart. We invite a lot of industry experts and they speak on our channel.
Perfect. Yeah, guys, in our contacts, Alex and Alex here also, please follow us. I do a lot of posting on LinkedIn as well, very regularly. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you for asking the questions. Susan, you're the best. Yeah, guys, we need to send Susan our pricing book, please. Can you send it? Susan left. We probably have your email. We will send you. We just recently printed a cool physical book, and we will send you for the most curious person on the webinar.
Thank you everyone for attending today. Thank you, Competera, for organizing
Thank you,
this event.
guys. Thank you, Alex, for coming. Yeah. Cheers.